All right, welcome everybody. We're so glad that you are joining us. We're admitting people right now that have pre-registered for the webinar, and we are very privileged to be together. I think we have something of great value to add to your life today, maybe something a little unique, something that isn't often addressed in your typical leadership and meetings kind of culture, but we believe it really has the potential to uh, take productivity and impact and just level up your teams in a very powerful and practical way. The title of today's session, as you can see there, is The Secret to Better Meetings, How to Structure and Run Them Around Working Genius. So Laurie and I, particularly Laurie runs the Working Genius division of Langley Leadership Group. And of course, that's one of the resources that we are using to help leaders of all types, really, whether you're in business, whether you're an entrepreneur, a ministry leader of some sort, a pastor, or a nonprofit leader. It doesn't really matter. We want to help you increase the performance and productivity of your organization. And we want to help you create environments where teams can thrive, bringing clarity, the best level of collaboration, just authentic connection, things that are going to really drive performance and productivity for your team. You know, to help you close out the year strong, we're sharing this webinar, and then we're going to offer a complimentary discovery call. Laurie will talk a little bit more about that to discuss how we can add value to your organization and maybe set you up for greater impact and success. But we just want you to walk away with very practical tools. This is not an advertisement webinar. We do want you to be aware of the resources that we offer. This is what we do. And it's our passion to help people maximize their productivity, their call, their success, their purpose, their destiny. And so we want to walk with you in that. But we really, if you want to lead yourself and lead your team with purpose and pressure, we believe we can help you make that happen. And so that's really what about today's webinar is all about for you and your teams. So without any further ado, we've got a lot of great content to cover today. I want to introduce you to Laurie Langley. Laurie and I partner together. She's the co-owner of Langley Leadership Group. And Laurie is our certified working genius facilitator. So she works with, we've recently actually rolled this out to married couples as well. And we're really excited about that. But she works with the organizations, the ministries, the team culture. And we have just fallen in love with the working genius framework. It's just an amazing application to help level up your team. So, Laurie, I want you to just go ahead and dive into this. And I believe it's going to really help a lot of people today.
I do too. Thanks, Dr. Langley, or should I call you honey? Good to see all of you on here with us. Thank you for being. I've seen some as you've come on and been admitted, and I know I'm not seeing everybody on at the screen I'm looking at, but thank you guys so much for being a part of this. Working Genius was created by Patrick Lencioni in the Table Group. Some of you may have heard of him before. A lot of you probably have. He's been in this realm of work and leadership for over a quarter of a century now with the Table Group. But the Working Genius was made by him and by this Table Group, and it's a framework, like Dr. Langley referenced it, for how work gets done. It's the fastest growing tool, largest tool of its kind now in the world. It's 4 years old. And I did get a chance to become certified with Working Genius, and now I've had the opportunity over the last almost 4 years to just really work with a lot of individuals, organizations, churches, people that want to level up their ability to lead and be healthy, have healthy and productive teams. So it's basically how work gets done, if you can put that thought in your mind. We've had over a quarter of a million, or 1.25 million people now, 1.25 million, take this assessment and engage with Working Genius. So, and that is again all over the world, predominantly in the US, but it's very, very much growing all over the world now and is available in different languages and that type of thing. But it's helping organizations, large and small, any size, nonprofits, corporations. We've worked with Nike as an organization, so that tells you kind of a size scale, but they want to take their teams to the next level, and that's what we do. Today's focus obviously is better meetings with Working Genius, but I think that I need to give you a brief overview of Working Genius, and that's why we've put up this first slide so that I can give you context about Working Genius, especially those of you who are coming in new to it, for you to understand that the content that we'll share in just a couple minutes about meetings. All right, does that make sense to everyone? All right, so the 6 types of Working Genius are: wonder is the first one. You'll see it there, and these are represented by cogs because they all work together. There are 6 types of Working Genius, and we each have 2. And they're not necessarily in order. Dr. Langley's happened to be wonder and invention. I happen to be tenacity and enablement, so I'm right down there at the bottom next to each other. But you could be any combination. Your 2 could be any combination. But the first one is wonder. And the people that have this genius, they love to contemplate and speculate and ponder, and they're thinking about things that are in the environment around them. If they're part of a corporation or a company that makes something, they may think, well, are we still making it the best way? Are we targeting it to the right people? It's literally a genius for these people that some of us might think, well, they always have their head in the clouds. But that's the genius of wonder. It's a God-given genius. And the second one in the progression then would be invention. So they would take what the wonder genius is thinking about, and they will say, well, let me help you with that. I think we could do this. They come up with ideas. They invent, if you will. They invent. That's what they love to do. And then I think we're a slide ahead. They invent, and then there we go. That's right. They get joy and energy from taking on challenges and generating solutions. And Dr. Langley is so good at this. He's my best illustration for the invention genius. Out of nothing, to me, it feels like, since I don't have that genius, it feels like he can come up with ideas. Just go to a whiteboard or a blank sheet of paper and say, well, what about this? And we could do this. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful genius. The next one would be discernment. These people have the gift of discernment and the genius of discernment, and it may not be based on whether they've had data or experience or expertise. It's just a gut level knowing on how to evaluate whether ideas that invention geniuses come up with will work. And you never want to skip discernment. The next one is galvanizing. So then once you get to this process in this part of the process of work, you need somebody, you need the genius of galvanizing. They love to get things moving. So now we're at the point that it's time to get the ball down the court, and we've got to get people rallied, and they manage and rally and motivate the human capital around them. They're great, it says here, they are great at pushing people out of their comfort zones. And they are, and not only that, but they enjoy it. It gives them joy and energy to rally people. All right. Go to the genius of enablement next. All right. That's the next cog in that picture that we saw up above us in a couple of screens ago. The genius of enablement then comes alongside the team and generally that person who's galvanizing, and they will say, I will help you. And again, this is one of those geniuses that a lot of times doesn't get recognized for what it is. I have this genius, so I'm pretty passionate about enablement. And we say, on your terms, what do you need me to do? I will help. Mm-hmm. They start getting the work actually started, and the ball moving down the court to the process of what we want to accomplish as a team. And the last one then is tenacity. And I also have this one, and it's my actual number one. But we love to finish. We love to complete. We want to check it off the list. We want to achieve what we set out to achieve. That's within genius of tenacity. is motivated by. We help the team finish and complete all the way to the end a project or a plan that we've set out to accomplish. So I hope that helps. Those are the 6 types of working genius. And you can ask me more questions at the end. We're going to offer time for Q&A, number 1. Number 2, you can access this free time with me that we're going to offer you at the end as well. So write your questions down, and no worries if you didn't grab all of that. There'll be a replay sent to you here within the next week or so that you could also replay this and take more screen grabs and things that you might want to do there. But I want to take this information then that I've given you in the last 4 or 5 minutes and move this now into your meetings. Move it into your meetings.
Yes.
How, Dr. Langley, how does this help us have better meetings? So, all right, we're going to stay here on this screen right here. Take a screen grab of it if you want, but we're going to stay here for a few minutes because this is the better meetings framework. So when you know the geniuses of your team members and what brings them joy and energy and fulfillment, and where in this process of work they best shine, right? You can engage with them in a much better and more intentional way based on whatever the phase is that the work is in. So I was thinking about a company that makes a widget or makes a product, right? Let's just pick that as an illustration. The ideation phase, look at the top of this particular screen, the ideation phase, that's where you have the geniuses of wonder and invention in their happy place. Okay, so the first one would be the genius of wonder. Again, Dr. Langley, he's saying, I wonder if we're still making the right product. I wonder if an adjustment would be better. I wonder if we should think about how our customers are engaging. All right. All right. So back to the elevations for me. And let's just stay there for a little bit. I'll prompt you when I want to move because I want them to be able to really see where I'm going with this. So then wonder comes up with their ponderings, and invention comes along. And again, we're still at that ideation phase. And we also call this, we reference this as the elevations of work. Many of you may have already heard these terms, but let me just make it clear for everyone that this is the phases of work: ideation, activation, and implementation, also known as the elevations of work, which you see on the right-hand side of your screen there. All right. So when you know your geniuses of your team members, you know who needs to be at the table. And you know who needs to be given the microphone or have a voice at the table at any given point. So if you're at the ideation phase and you're looking at this product that you have as a company, or you're looking at a ministry service, if you're a church, or whatever your role may, or your company or your organization may represent, the invention genius comes in and they have the ideas. Right? They have the ideas. And not every idea that they come up with is going to be great, but you have to let them have the freedom. That's what invention geniuses want. They want freedom to come up with all kinds of ideas. And then the next phase of work, and you see we're moving closer to the ground with every phase. So that is like the idea is 30,000 feet. And when you finally complete something and you're with that tenacity genius, you're all the way to the ground, and everything in between, all the geniuses in between fall right there, either 25,000 feet, 20,000 feet. They're somewhere in that elevation of the work project. So the graphic shows you these 3 phases of work. It shows you the elevations and clarity. Listen to me. This is maybe one of the most important things I'll say about meetings. Clarity on where you are in the process of any work project is huge to your team members. And this process will help you give them clarity. If you're like, let's just say you're planning VBS for your church. Most of us know what Vacation Bible School is. and you're 10 days out from VBS. You don't necessarily need to do a lot more work in wonder and invention. You don't need to go all the way back up to 30,000 feet if you're 5,000 feet from the ground right now with that project that you're doing. So this is the thing I really want you to grasp. knowing where you are. And I think it would be good as a leader when you're going into a meeting, you're going into a staff meeting, and you're going to discuss three different topics or three different work projects or three different things that you are trying to accomplish on your team. Those are the top three things that you have, as the leader, have chosen to discuss or you know you need to discuss in this meeting today. You should be able to articulate for your team members where each of those three things are in the process of work. And they should be able to ask you or no. See, that's called clarity in meetings, and it is a huge game changer. It's a huge game changer for a number of reasons. But clarity on where you are is a super helpful facet of the process of work to your team. It helps them to engage. They know where we are. They're not as bored or frustrated. I mean, and I've been with Dr. Langley in staff meetings before, when we were senior pastors of our last church, and he is, I've already told you, wonder and invention genius. And here I am, tenacity and enablement. And a lot of times I had to really force myself or be purposeful. That's a better way to say it. If we're having a conversation that's way up in ideation, because that's not where I get joy and energy. It's not where I thrive. It's not where I'm happiest, right? But at least I know we're going to cover these three topics in staff meeting. And for this topic in staff meeting, we're going to be up higher. Then I can at least know that. Does that make sense, Dr. Langley?
Yeah, it does. I think it's helpful for people to know that this framework incorporates clarity, all the creativity, and the execution.
Yes.
Because you can have all the clarity you want, but somewhere that creativity has to come in there. It makes space for that. And at the end of the day, if it's all talk and no action, there's no execution,
Right.
then nothing happens either.
It's
So
got to be
I love
all of them.
it has to be all of them, correct?
And you
And
spoke that
that's
like,
why did you say also that every project is a 6-letter project?
yes, it is. You can't skip any of them. And I could use a really quick illustration that when we first came up with Working Genius, when the table group did, they were working with Nike. And they presented this to Nike. I mean, before there was anything, they literally presented it to them on a whiteboard, on a video call, because there was nothing documented at the time. And they said to the consultants that were working with them at the time, no wonder only 3 of our last 7 projects, or I don't know if I'm getting all the numbers right, but basically 3 of our last 7 or 3 of our last 10 products that we came up with as a company did well, because we don't even have this. Again, this was years ago, but we don't even have an activation phase in our minds. At that time, Nike didn't even have an activation phase in their minds
Yeah.
for the process of work. All right. So I definitely want you to hear that from me. You should know where each of your work projects are in the what phase they're in. Are they in ideation, activation, or implementation? And you should be able to make sure your team members know that and give them clarity on where we are in this process. And again, if you're really close to the ground on the completion of something and somebody in that meeting tries to yank it all the way back up to 25,000 feet, well, then everybody knows, wait a minute, it's probably past the bulk of that part of the work. We're about ready to complete this project in the next week or two. So I think that probably helps. But let me also say that Working Genius helps address bottlenecks in the work process. And in doing so, makes your work process more efficient and productive. That is a real dynamic of good meetings. If you get bottled up, at discernment or whatever, at least you're bottled up there and you can work
Mhm.
through it and begin to make more forward motion towards the ground by getting it, once you've done the discernment that you need to do, getting it moving then into galvanizing and enablement. So if you're working at the higher elevation, this is where we could go to the next slide, Jesse. Thank you. I have such a wonderful team helping me today, and I really appreciate every single one of them. If you're working at ideation, be sure to have wonder and invention geniuses at the table and in the room, that they have a voice, right? If you're working in the activation phase, which is the next phase, you want discernment and galvanizing in the room. And make sure that they have a voice. And you have to remember, I'll just say this about discernment. A lot of times the discernment genius, and they're so important, but they feel sometimes like they're throwing a wet blanket on the idea that Invention just came up with. And it's important to do that invention discernment loop until you have the right product, the right plan, the right project, the right movement, the right movement forward for the team. Keep doing that. Don't throw it to galvanizing too soon. Because when galvanizing gets into the process of work, they want to know and they need to know this is what we're going to do. We've wondered, we've invented, we've discerned, and now we're ready to rally the human capital and get moving, enlisting people for support. All right. And the last one is if you're in the implementation phase, you definitely want enablement and tenacity in the room. All right. So that should help you in planning your meetings. Not that everybody can't or shouldn't be there. That's for you to determine. But you'd understand that if you're in the implementation phase, you should be hearing more maybe from enablement and tenacity than maybe you would the geniuses that are higher up. So that should give you some clarity there on having a better meeting and how it motivates, it mobilizes people, it gives them understanding. It helps them be less frustrated. Unfrustrating meetings, unfrustrating your meetings is so key because every organization, every team has to have meetings. Isn't that right, Dr. Langley? We
Yeah.
all are
Yeah.
struggling to some measure and number of meetings a day, a week, a month, a year as an organization. How about unfrustrating those meetings and making them more productive? That will boost your morale, and boosted morale is always good, right? So I want to give you a summary. If you're going to put questions in the chat, let me prompt you to start doing that, and I will look in a few moments at the chat and start addressing some of those that you have. But let me just give you a summary then. And again, when you know what your team members do best, where their happy place is, where they get joy, energy, fulfillment. You don't have to check on a lot of times on their progress. You don't have to ride them for deadlines because they love it. When you know it, and they get joy and energy from it, and everybody on the team knows what elevation we're at on a particular project, it helps unlock your team's potential. I mean, it helps unlock your team's potential. And everybody loves that. They can feel it. They will see and understand the process more. They will engage more. They will feel seen and known on the team. They will feel drawn upon for the things that they really get fulfillment out of. And like I said, I feel like it boosts morale and the energy of your team. And you know what that does? That reduces and lowers your need to hire new employees because it'll increase retention. Let me slow down here for a minute. Sorry. This process will help you increase retention and lower the cost to your organization when it comes to the employee turnover. And if people feel seen and they feel known and they don't feel confused all the time and they don't feel frustrated by all these meetings, it's super great. So this is not a complicated model. It's not a complicated framework. It's doable. Now it has to be intentional, and I definitely want you to hear that from me. Working genius takes intentionality, but
Yeah.
you can do it. What do you want to say, Dr. Langley?
Well, I want to say, we've talked a lot about it in the team framework, and many of the people on the webinar today are aware of Working Genius
Mhm.
and how it starts with a simple assessment where they discover what their genius is. And again,
Right,
this sometimes people confuse this with, well, is this a personality profile? Well, is this a strength finder? No, all those things are wonderful, but
right.
that is not what this is. Every organization, every family for that matter, wants to accomplish something. They have an objective. And what this does is it helps every person to be able to contribute from the platform of what brings them joy and energy. And so one of the discoveries is that many people are doing things, they may even be pretty good at what they do,
Mhm.
but it doesn't bring them joy and energy. And so they just
Right.
want to quit, or they want to go somewhere else, or they want to get involved in a different way. And so when you've got your whole team, when they've done the assessment and your organization, and Laurie, you build a team map for a
Mhm.
company, a business, a ministry, whatever it is. And then you
Mhm.
work with that organization to make sure that they're all in alignment with the Working Genius framework and what brings them joy and energy. It's like, bam, I mean, you've got something powerful, something that just propels the momentum
Yeah.
forward and creates success. So I know that you're going to mention this in a minute. You're going to offer a free, as a result of them taking the being on this webinar, you're going to offer them a free consultation, which I
Right.
hope they'll take advantage of. But I love what you said. The Working Genius framework is not complicated. It's clear, but it does have to be intentional.
Right.
But even that's not hard. It's just intentional.
Right, exactly. So let me say this. This is a partnership. If you jump in and engage, we hope you will, in some level of the Working Genius for yourself, for your marriage, for your family. I'm working right now with a family of five. They have two teenagers and a preteen, and I am helping them with the Working Genius. It's so exciting and very strategic for this father and mother to be leading their young people in this direction. I think it's fantastic. It has really cool, unique benefits to families. But I want to say it's a partnership that starts with you, your intentionality, and then Langley Leadership comes alongside of you, Working Genius and me. We come alongside of you then and help it benefit you as you lead your team. So I hope that's been clear. Now, I don't see any questions in the chat, so you guys don't be shy.
Yeah.
Let me say that Dr. Langley and I are facilitating this webinar with you today because we know that this will add value to you. It will help you. We are not asking you to consider something that we don't already know by personal experience, individually, in our marriage, in our immediate family, in our Langley Leadership and Christian Life School of Theology global teams. We already know this will add value and help you. And so there are a lot more facets that obviously we cannot cover in a 30-minute webinar. We can talk about those if you'll scan this QR code. It's going to take you to the Langley Leadership website where you can book your time with me, and I think Donna's putting the link in the chat for that. So, all right, Rick Menard, this is helping people to serve according to their spiritual gifts and how God has wired them. Yes, in a very unique way, because I know a lot about different motivational gift profile that we've used in our churches in the past. That helps people understand how they can contribute. The church that we're attending here in Goodyear, they use another type of profile in their next steps thing that we went to. Was also very good, but Working Genius is unique in that it really focuses in the process of work and how work gets done and utilizing team members in the areas as much as possible. Because every project is a six-letter project, and you know what? Every job is a six-letter job. So there are times when I have to do things that are in that higher elevation. Those W and I, wonder and invention, those are my personal working frustrations. They're the things I'm not very good at. But there's times I have to do that. But for the most part, now that I understand, and once your team members understand, we can help them work in the areas that bring them fulfillment and where they thrive as a team member. So, I hope that helped, Rick, and you and I can certainly talk more about it because I'd like to take that 15 minutes that we're offering you and customize to your needs. You may be more interested in it for your family or for your team if you're a nonprofit. If you work in an organization that is a for-profit company, Working Genius will help in all of those genres. And so all of those fields of work. And so I would like to take that 15 minutes and talk with you more. It's completely free to you so we can customize what you've heard today to your needs, your pain points as a manager or leader. We can help you with that. So I hope you will. I hope you will take advantage of that. And
Yeah.
I want to say
One
one
of
more
the
thing, honey, and then I'm going to turn it to you.
Okay. All
I
right.
want to ask for your referral. I love doing this, and I can tell you without any hesitation, the reason why I do it is because I want to help people and I want to help families and I want to help organizations, and this is a tool that helps, and I can attest to that personally. So, if you know people that would benefit from this, maybe your manager at work, or you feel your pastor at church, or the person that you are married to, or that isn't on this call or on this webinar, when you get the replay, please send it to them. Please make the introductions for me to this person that you believe would help. It would help them, and I would be happy to do it. All right, Dr. Langley, it's all yours.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, now's a great time to set yourself and your leadership team up with momentum as you prepare to head into 2026. This would be a great tool resource for you. You know, good intentions are not going to grow your business. They're not. We're big on the word productivity. Whether you're a nonprofit, a for-profit, the word productivity is applicable. It's not just about being busy. Busy just produces burnout, but genuine productivity creates energy, joy, results, and that's what we're about. So, good intentions aren't going to grow your business or your organization. Intentional leadership will. And that's why we have these resources. So we hope that we'll hear from you. This year we started a Master of Executive Leadership degree program, and we're so excited about the students that are enrolled in that, and it's life-changing for them. So jump on the Langley Leadership Group webpage, see how we can, connect with you, have a conversation with you. But now's a great time to consider how you can go to the next level of productivity in your life, in your organization, whatever it is. And we're just happy to be a part of that. So thanks, Laurie, for the information. I know that that's going to help a lot of people.
Thank you, everyone, for being on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Till we host our next webinar, I hope you have an amazing day, and we're here for your success. All right. Bye now.
Bye, y'all.